Welcome back to my channel. I am Mikael, and this is going to be another story time. So I told you guys I was going to do the story time about Cheddar and Biscuit. Two separate story times, though. The story time about my and Biscuit's date, and then the story time about why Cheddar said what she said. So this one's going to be the story time about why Cheddar said what she said. See, welcome back, y'all. Look at this outfit. Isn't this so cute? See, I paired it with these cute... Stop! Out here looking phenomenal. Anyways. Oh. How I come up with these things? I don't know. Let me stop. I just love this outfit. Anyways. So, Cheddar. So, the story time about Cheddar is, so that happened with, why my glasses look so filthy? Y'all see, that's why I say I gotta be figuring out a better time to do my story times. Well, I don't know. I like doing them now, but because I do them after work, I don't be looking as fresh. I ain't fresh, not really. So anyways, the situation happened with Cheddar and Biscuit. And when she brought it up again, this was years later, so I guess I would have to double back a little bit. Excuse me. I guess I would have to double back a little bit. So I'm going to have to double back a little bit of why this even took place in the first place. So, I was staying with roommates, right? So I was staying with roommates. That situation started to get weird. I actually think I did a story time about that. What was his name?
Ajax.
Yeah, and I ended up moving in with Cheddar. So basically me and Cheddar were roommates. Right, and it was cool and everything like that, and I was at this little transitional point in my life. I wanted things to change in my life. They weren't necessarily bad, but when you're around certain types of people who, the people I was around at the time pretty much viewed every single thing I did as dramatically like world ending. You know what I mean? Like, if you're an 18-year-old who wants to take a year off college because you want to see what you want to do with your life or whatever, maybe you party a lot and things like that. I just feel like when you have healthy, normal people in your life, they say things like, take all the time you need, or, try not to take too long having a good time because you don't want to, like, miss opportunities, just like that kind of thing. The people in my life were pretty much looking at me like, you stupid ass hoe. No, I mean, like, yeah, they were pretty much looking at me like I was just, like, ruining my life, but in a way more traumatic, ghetto way of saying, like, basically, you ain't sugar honey iced tea. You ain't never gonna be sugar honey iced tea. I mean, that's not what I was doing, but pretty much any time my life had a transitional point, instead of having someone teach me or guide me in the right direction, it was kind of just like, you're an idiot. In a very, I'm really trying not to cuss as much on my channel, because if I want my channel to grow, I can't be cussing as much as I be cussing. But basically, in a really effed up way, people made me feel like I wasn't nothing. So I was trying to change my life, when really I was just transitioning into a different time in my life. But the way that I would, I guess, say it back then was, I'm trying to better my life. I want a better life. Not that I didn't, but it shouldn't have been that dramatic. So we were roommating, but I was in this weird space, I just felt like I didn't have anyone. You know what I mean? Typical story of my life. I felt like I didn't have nobody. And it felt like I was just tired of transitioning. I was tired of moving. I was tired of things always being different. I was tired of meeting people and then having to let people go, and then meeting people and having to let people go. I was tired of having to make new friends. I was just tired. So at the time, I don't know. I don't want to say I was like a terrible roommate, but I was probably just a really quiet to myself one, because I didn't, just a low point. Not the lowest, but a low one. So, when I started hanging around her, she was taking me around like her college and her college friends. And what am I gonna give this man a name? What's his name gonna be? Crumpet? I don't know. Cause why the fuck I say Stop cussing. Why the heck did I say crumpets? I was thinking of croutons, but it came out as crumpets. I don't know. And I don't know why I came up with crouton. I had a bomb ass salad today and it had croutons in it. I think that's why I thought about it. Not to say he's a bomb ass salad. Anyways, we're gonna call him Crouton. Why am I even naming these people food? It's just, I'm hungry. I need a snack. So Crouton, we're gonna name him Crouton. Anyways, she brought me around her college and her college friends. Basically, you know, we just hanging out and shit like that. So I met Crouton at her college. Their college, because he went to that college too. And, you know, it's just typical hanging out, go home, whatever. Next day, hang out, go home. Just regular shit, right? So the thing about Crouton was that I would say he was not my usual type. The typical kind of guys, I won't even say the typical kind of guys. The guys I ended up with, not the guys that I was into or crushed on. But the guys I end up with are typically black men with some sort of locks. Except for my son's father. He was, he had locks, but he didn't have locks when I met him. But I would just say the kind of guys I would end up with typically would look more, they either would look hood or they would be hood. The ones that always end like with locks, or like the black men with like locks, they look hood, but they weren't really hood. They, you know, had regular 9-to-5s, graduated type shit. Or they would end up actually being hood, which, you know, I wouldn't know that they were hood until it was a little too late. But yeah, so he wasn't really the typical. He didn't come off hood and he didn't look hood. He was black, but he didn't look hood or he didn't come off hood. So, initially, yeah, I was not attracted to him. I wasn't, you know, I didn't have any thoughts like that. Like I said, I'm in a transitional point in my life. I wasn't thinking. Most of the time I end up meeting somebody is when I'm not thinking about meeting somebody. Which is always crazy that it always ends up being some dramatic ass fucking spiral from somebody who's a little too fucking invested in my love life. Because it would make it seem like I'm just like on the fucking stroll and I personally picked up some guy and then like, why are you letting him ruin your life? Like, I wasn't looking for nobody. I do not, every guy I've ever ended up, and that's a lie. That one particular guy, my children's father, I met him on a dating site. So clearly I was looking for somebody. But my first two loves and the last man that I was just with, and in this situation, I was not looking for anybody. Anyways, because that don't matter. That don't matter. It's my mother chucking business. Some people need to mind the business that pays them, and I ain't paying motherfuckers to be on my business. So why y'all in it, I don't know. But anyways, the point is, I was not looking for this guy. I was not looking for any guy. I was not trying to date anybody. I was not interested in dating anybody. He was not my type. To be quite honest, I don't even know if I was his. You know what I mean? So, basically, we're just like hanging out. So, one day, and I actually don't even know how this happened, actually. Like, I'm about to tell the story as if I know how this... I don't know. Well, one day, he just asked me out. Yeah, like, I think we just, like, and obviously this is not, like, days. I think this is over the course of, like, a few weeks, maybe a month or two. And then he asks me out. Like, I think he asked me to be his girlfriend. I don't fucking know, actually. I don't know. Basically, just one day we was dating. One day, and I don't even mean, like, we were, like, dating, like, he's taking me out on a date. Like, we're going places and we're doing things. But Cheddar was with us every single time. At that point, me and him had never... me and Crouton had never hung out without Cheddar. It was more of a Three Musketeer. And mind you, they were friends before I came along. And, you know what? Yeah. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah. So it is kind of the similar story to Biscuit. Before me and him started dating, I asked her, did she like him? I asked, in with him, with Crouton, it was not as obvious as it was with Biscuit. With Biscuit, it was very obvious that she liked Biscuit. So him kissing me really was a fucking shock. It really was because I just felt like if it was obvious to me, even though she kept denying the hell out of it, to, like one of those kind of denying it, how some girls deny that they like a guy and they're like, no, I don't like him. No, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, girl, stop. No, she was one of the deniers who would get mad. Like, like, no, I don't like him. Like, why do you keep asking me that? Because it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm just making sure because you're, and I'm not saying that men and women can't be friends. So it's not that. I have male friends that I've never done anything with, don't plan on ever doing anything with, and if they want to do something with me, they shit out of luck. So I'm not saying that I don't think that, but you know how you just know, like, you can kind of feel the vibe is just like, because if I'm joking with him too much, or if I'm joking with him too much and he's joking with me too much, and you can kind of see that face, you're like, okay, it feels like you like this person, but if they're being mean about it, it's like, I don't want to keep asking. And she was like that with Crouton, but to me it was more, I believed her more with Crouton, because even if I'm not asking, it just didn't give that. It didn't give the same doughy eye crush that she gave with Biscuit. So I stopped asking. So then, one day me and him are, dating. I really don't know how it happened. I don't know how he asked me or when he asked me. I want to say we were at a park and he asked me. And then we kissed. But I feel like by the time that happened, yeah, we dated for like probably fucking a week. Like, this was quick. So, yeah, I want to say he asked me at a park and then we kissed. But I don't think the kiss quite happened yet. But basically, we just started like expressing our crushing on each other. Him holding my hand or wrapping his arm around my neck when we walking type shit. And I really don't like when people do that. Which is weird though, because in a way I kind of thought it was obvious that I wasn't attracted to him like that. Because one time he did this thing, right? Like, we were all going through the mall. I want to say we were walking through the mall. And you know how you like play fight with somebody? No, yeah, I didn't even play fight with him. I think I said something. I'm pretty bold. Not like bold. I'm opinionated. Not bold. Well, I am bold. But I'm pretty opinionated. And I said something to the extent of like, basically like a woman power type shit. I know it has something that made me sound like a feminist. Certain type of men do not like women who stick up for other women. And he made this gesture like he was like play fighting, punching me, like air punching me. I don't like that. I do not like that because the body language in the face said that kind of like girl, keep playing with me, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I don't like shit like that. So I was turned off by that. I was really, really, really turned off by that. So how we even got to the point where he and me started like taking each other seriously, I don't know, because that shit turned me the fuck off. And it didn't last long, because what the fuck anyway. So I know we were at a park and we kissed. And then so I know when me and her walked home that day, she had this like attitude, like this funny fucking acting attitude. And I'm like, what's up? Like, are you okay? But then something happened where there was like mad bats. And we ended up losing track of that. And like, kind of like screaming because it was like mad bats. And it low-key felt like they was chasing us. So we started booking it, but then we're laughing at each other being scared as fuck. So it's like we're scared as hell, but we're also laughing because of how scared and funny this shit was. Because it really was crazy. Like, you think it's fucking Halloween. We was at a cave. It was so many bats. But we start cracking up. So I think a part of us was like remembering the friendship. Like, Not we about to argue over some nyaka that I barely like. Anyways. So, one day he asked me to hang out. And it just me. So I hung out with him at his house. And that's a story for a different day. That's like one of them, you need a membership type. That fucking, it was wild. And not in wild like in a good way. It was weird. It was weird. Because I don't even know if I could say that on YouTube. I mean, obviously I can't say it on YouTube, but I don't know how to say it in a way that still wouldn't have YouTube flag my stuff for inappropriate content. Basically, it was horrific. And I want to say it was because at that time we were both very inexperienced. So it was like painful. And so it wasn't happening because it was painful. But also, we ended up doing something. Well, I didn't do shit, but I watched him basically do himself. Can I say that? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it was weird. At the time, I don't think I thought of it as weird because I'm a freak. But I mean, okay, if that were me now, I wouldn't think it was weird because now I'm pretty open with my sexuality. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. But back then, it was like like, what the fuck is happening? Because I wasn't open to that. Although I think I felt spicy about it. Like, okay. But which is fucking weird saying right now. Because wait till y'all hear the rest of this story. It's weird saying it right now. But at the time, I a little hot. But it didn't go down. Basically, it didn't go down because it was too much information, because it would be weird for me to really express what I'm trying to say. Like, so yeah. So anyways, we make it home, we laughing, giggling, whatever. Next day rolls around, we damn near was hanging out every fucking day for like a month or two. Next day rolls around, and I would say it was a bit awkward between me and him, but not like to the point where I'm like, I can't be with you anymore. This is weird. I think it was just awkward because the situation was just like, are we going to try that again? Or are we just going to leave that alone for a while? So we did not try that again. Thank the gods. But, so I believe this is the day where I would say we were probably more cutesied up than usual. Probably because we just tried to be intimate. And, we're boyfriend, girlfriend at this point. He leaves, and I think at this point, we're still at the park. I think we're at some, pond. Yeah. It's kind of hard to remember this, so forgive me. Because this didn't feel like something I don't know. I think a part of my mind blocked this situation out, because you'll see. So yeah, I think we're at like some type of pond or something. He leaves first, and it's just me and her. How we got to the topic of conversation where she seemed she seemed pissed and upset. And I want to say we got to this topic of conversation where I'm asking her again, which seems silly to be asking fucking, hey, are you upset that I'm dating a guy? Because at first it's just like, hey, do you got a crush on him or something? Because, you kind of seem, it's feeling a little biscuity. But at this point, it's like, it feels weird to be saying this because, okay, this is my man now. I'm questioning you about how you feel about me dating my man. Right? My man. We were boyfriend and girlfriend. He asked me to be his girlfriend. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm like, hey, are you okay? You just seem more distant. So when she started to bring up back in the day, I'm assuming that she's talking about me and Landon. Right? And she is talking about me and Landon. Mind you, Landon was my boyfriend. My very first boyfriend. in my grade, younger than her. I'm trying to paint the picture of there's no way that you could be looking at my situation with Landon as the same as the situation with Biscuit, because that was my boyfriend for 2 fucking years, and went back with him, came back. Did I go? Yeah. Like, so in all, me and Landon had dated for like 4 years. And I don't know if I ever said this, but me and Landon were engaged. Like, this man gave me a whole ring. Well, I think I did say that. The way he proposed was terrible. But, so there's no way you're trying to tell me that you feel some type of, because what she was saying was she always feels like the third wheel. But the only other time she could have been the third wheel from this situation is when with me and Landon. But she's saying it as if, like I said, you always do this. You're always, we're always in situations like this. But it's like, you're trying to make me feel bad for having a boyfriend and you hanging around. Like, bro, you could have got a boyfriend, or, you know what I mean? Like, you can't have boyfriends. We can't have boyfriends. That's fine. But no one ever told you to, like, she made it seem like she was babysitting me when me and Landon were together. I never asked her to, like, hey, can you hang out with me and Landon? Or I guess maybe she was thinking that she felt like she had to, because then, if I'm like, hey, I'm staying the night over Cheddar's house, and, my parents see her, but they don't see me, then they're going to know I'm not with her. And then that'll get me in. I never asked nobody to fucking protect me. I mean, I was living in hell. So it's not like I needed it. And I kind of felt like, oh, there is another situation too. But this situation is also fucking weird, because I don't know if I ever told this story time about the time my parents accused me of being in love with one of my cousins. And she felt like she was caught in between that situation. So I think it was the Landon situation, then my cousin. But it's like, this is fucking, that situation is like, that's abuse. I don't care what nobody say. To sit here and try to beat your fucking children or your child, trying to accuse them of being into a cousin that is way fucking younger than you, and then trying to, like, because it's not like it was just my parents. It was another set of parents. So it's like, it was just weird. I'm telling you, I feel like I grew up in a fucking cult. A weird ass, pedophile, perverted ass cult. But, I think she was basically saying, like, she felt caught in between that situation, too. I don't know, because with that situation, I found out some weird-ass shit involving her and said cousin. So it's like, how was y'all all looking at me whole time? I'm not saying she did something with that cousin. I'm saying the way that I'm saying what I found out with that cousin was that cousin was doing weird shit. To me, I don't know if it's true, while I was asleep. And she was writing things in her journal, her diary. Don't ask me how I read that. She was writing things in her diary about the situation as if I wanted attention from people, who the people were, I don't know. And that's why I was messing with this cousin. But the way she was writing it is as if she was jealous, like she wanted attention, or that cousin. And then also said that cousin said that I wanted attention, but he was the one doing the weird shit. Now, I'm not making it seem like I'm just this innocent person who's never done anything wrong. We were kids. At that time when all that happened, we were kids. We weren't even fucking adults. But it's just the way that people had treated me in my past life. Because I don't know these motherfuckers no more. The way that people treated me in my past life was that you would think that I was like some fucking 40-year-old man who was doing weird shit with people and children, or some fucking hussy-ass grown woman wearing scandalous things around people's man. Like, you wouldn't think that I was 15, 14, 17, no, 15, 14, 16 is when majority of those things happen. You wouldn't think that I was a teenager. You would think that I was this grown ass, fucking perverted ass woman, man, who was just doing weird shit with people. And everybody else was just like innocent. They never did anything weird or questionable. Now, mind you, we the kids, it's like you whoop our ass and you say you don't do shit like that. Or you know, hey, what's the fucking... Or at least believe, like, hey, I only hugged the dude. Like, I'm not allowed to hug my cousin. Because that's how this all started, is I hugged my cousin. And mind you, I didn't just hug my cousin. I hugged my cousin, then I hugged my sister, and then I hugged another sister, and then I hugged another cousin, and hugged Cheddar, and they were hugging. Because we were just making a joke about, like, they were going to get snacks, and other half of us kids were staying at the house. Because I want to say we were having like some type of movie night, and it was a bunch of us, kids from the street, like other kids, neighbors, whatever. So we were just making this kind of like joke, like, oh, bye, we'll see y'all later. Like, completely innocent ass joke. I don't know how it got flipped into that I was in love with my cousin, and she wanted him, and everybody wanted attention, and we was perverts, and we needed to take cold showers, and if you upstairs, he got to be downstairs. I'm gonna beat her ass. If you won't get your ass. I'm telling you, we grew up with some weird ass shit. Anyways, back to the story, because that's just a whole nother thing. But yeah, but basically when she was discussing how I always, like, took her man, I don't know. She was discussing the biscuit situation, the cousin situation, and Landon, my boyfriend, my cousin, no one's man. So I was confused as fuck, and I was low-key getting mad. Because I had a bit of a temper on me back then. But my temper was just more like, people keep doing shit, and doing shit, and doing shit. And I let it slide, and I let it slide, and I let it slide, and I let it slide until I fucking don't. And now I'm this crazy, angry-ass black woman. But I was trying not to get to that point because I'm like, it's Cheddar. Like, I'm thinking... Which, I don't know why I thought that, given the cousin situation had already happened. And I knew she liked my ex in some ways. And people would say, you know, when I got kicked out of school after me and him got caught up, that it looked like they was flirting. And she would tell me things about him that I just don't think I needed to know, given the trauma that I was already going through. I.e., he moved on really fast and got another girlfriend. I didn't need to know that. My heart was fucking torn. I was broken. But, you know, like I said, I gave people chances and chances and chances. Because I'm like, there's just no way people hate me this fucking much. For no reason. I have never done anything to you. So, I'm like trying to, like, hey, like... I don't know why we're even having this argument, because it doesn't make sense to me why you're telling me that I've always stolen your man when I've never stolen your man. You've never had one. She's never had a boyfriend at this point. She never had a boyfriend before. So what man have I stolen? If it's just the simple fact that you don't like that I get attention, well, what the fuck you want me to do? You know what I mean? And that's when you start dimming your damn light for these dumbasses. Because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve you to dim your light. It ain't like they're going to go and brighten theirs up and do something with the fucking selves. No, they just want you to be... Let me not go on this tangent. But yeah, so I'm trying to, like, you know, I don't know what you mean. Like, I don't understand, what did I do wrong? And then that's when she kind of comes out and says it. Well, she never really says that she liked him. But basically, that's what I gathered. She liked Crunch. She liked Crouton. And she felt that I was stealing another one of the people that she likes. But the situation was so warped that it was like, what? Like, what are we talking about right now? Why would you wait until me and him start dating to say that you like him? Why wouldn't you tell me that when I asked you in the fucking first place? And so after this big ass blowout of you always taking my man and you always do stuff, and, you know, basically making me feel like I'm just this attention whore and everything I do is fucking wrong. And it's because of how I dress. It's because of how I talk. I'm always in people's faces. And I always got a boyfriend. And whatever the fuck. And mind you, I kind of knew this was going to get back to my, to the COs. Is what I used to call them. I kind of knew this would get back to the COs. And so it was kind of like I was embarrassed by it. Because I'm like, well, one... I know they're going to be like, you got another boyfriend, huh? And they're not just simply going to say, "Oh, you got another boyfriend," and be like disappointed. No, they're going to do some fucking traumatic shit that I have to heal from again. And it's like, I just didn't want to deal with that. So I'm like, you know what? I'll break up with him. Like, it is what it is. I'm not trying to let some guy get in between my and your relationship. Like, I'm not like that. And I'm not getting why it keeps being looked at like I'm like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna break up with him then. I mean, I don't think I even told her that I'll break up with him. I think I said I'll stop talking to him. So I ended up texting him and I broke up with him. Never gave him an explanation why I broke up with him. Never told him anything. And I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I should have, but I do believe that everything happens for a reason. Because who's to say that if I told him that, things in my life would have been different? And due to the fact that I'm at where I'm at right now in my life, I would not have wanted anything other than exactly what the fuck happened to have happened. The way people showed their ass, I would not change that. I would not change that for the world. Having somebody there to protect me, to have my back, is because, well, we'll get there. Because I don't know if I think I should part 2 that. The story time. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a part 2. So let me hurry up. So anyways, yeah, I text him and I tell him I want to break up with him. And, you know, I don't remember what the excuse was, but I think it has something to do with along the lines of, like, I'm not really, like, attracted to him or some shit like that. Like, I'm not attracted to him. I think it was something like that. Like, we want different things. Yeah, I've tried to make it like it's not you, it's me kind of thing. I believe. Like I said, I don't remember. I really think I blocked a lot out. I didn't block the because I could see it all play out in my head. But I mean, like, the tiny details of what I said and what he said, and you know what I mean? Like, what day I don't know. Because I really look back at it kind of like, I feel like I felt guilty. I felt like I did something wrong by liking him. I felt like move into that situation too soon. Like, damn, am I always, you know, up under somebody? And I couldn't see it as that. Like, it's simply that, you know, a lot of times when you're in your life doing things and you're not really paying attention to dating people, it's usually when you get a relationship. Because that's how the law of attraction works. When you're not looking for it, it comes to you. If you're desperately looking for it, it doesn't come to you at all, or what you get is toxic and not healthy for you. I mean, you can be not looking for something and still get something and it not be good for you. I'm not saying like that. I'm just saying I realize through the law of attraction that a lot of the times where I got my most serious relationships is when I weren't looking for them. Why I keep saying that? When I wasn't looking for them. So yeah, broke up with him. And never saw him again. For a very long time, I never saw him again. Never heard about, like, nothing. And at the time, I wasn't really on social media, so there was no way. I didn't know his social media. He didn't know mine. Like, I think I had Facebook, and we didn't have each other. So I didn't hear from him for a long time. We ended up moving to a better spot. And that's when I got a job and all that. So life was going good for me. Wasn't paying attention. It was like a whole year later. Was not paying attention to nobody on my way to work. And that's when I met, what did I name him? My son's father. I don't remember what I named him. That's when I met him. And the ghetto shenanigans began. I mean, I was dating. Like, I ended up dating Cuban Poppy. There's another story time that I have to figure out not how I'm going to tell it. Because I don't know if it's worth telling. I mean, it's worth telling, but I don't know if it's, like, a lot enough to tell the story. But anyways, that's around the time I met. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. That's when I met my son's father. All the ghetto shit happened. He ended up going to prison. I ended up going back to Buffalo. I saw me and Biscuit ended up seeing each other, but this is like a whole year, maybe even 2. Like a whole 2 years later, yeah. Was it 2 years later? I want to say it's like a year and a half to 2 years later, because I dated my son's father for like a year. 2 years later. So 2 years later, I ended up seeing Biscuit when I went back to my hometown. That's when I texted her, pop, pop, pop. Yeah, so I think I messed up. But yeah, so when I met up with Biscuit, that was 2 years later. But I was about to say, so guess what the fuck she told me? But she didn't tell me that at the time where me and Biscuit. She told me that a year later. Maybe, yeah. I skipped too far ahead. When I met my son's father, around that time, me and Cheddar we ended up moving. So I was telling her basically my business about my son's father. Whatever the fuck I named him. I don't know. Well, maybe I have to have a new name. And I was telling her, don't tell the COs. I did not want the COs to know that I was in a relationship. Guess what the fuck she told me? Because I was basically like sneaking around, like acting like I didn't have a boyfriend. And obviously I shouldn't have had to do that. I was grown as fuck with a job. But you know, if you ever had controlling parents, you know, controlling weird. Let me stop. But you know, those type of parents who act like they own their children, like they're dating their children, and you gonna kill your children for having fucking relationships like we was just never gonna leave, which some of them didn't, some of them never left, but me, I'm out. No, so I was exploring my royal oats. So I'm telling her, like, you know, because, this. All cheesy about my little new crush. This fucking demon. And guess what the fuck she told me? She's like, oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? Because I'm dating too. And, you know, I'm sneaking around and pretending like I'm going to work. Like what I was doing. I mean, we was really going to work, but sometimes we would pretend like we were going to work early, or I never pretended like I was working late because I felt like they was going to murder me in my sleep. But pretending like we were going to work early, but we were really leaving early so we can razzle-dazzle with our mans. Guess who the fuck her man was? You guessed it. Crouton. And when she told me, I think she was expecting me to be all giddy like I was about like my relationship. But it's like, my relationship isn't your ex. You're expecting me to be giddy about you dating my ex. So you put me through all that shit because you wanted him. Like, and mind you, when we were having the argument, I gathered that. But she was never going to admit to me that she just wanted him. She was making it seem like I keep dating guys and I keep putting men in between our relationship, and she's tired of being the third wheel with me and my man, and that's how she was making it sound. She never made it seem like she liked him. I just gathered that because I'm like, what? How are you making it seem like I'm always putting a man before you when the only other time that we've been in a situation like this is Landon? And that was at that point like 5-6 years ago. Like I said, it was a long time ago. And you're making it seem like I'm just constantly with men and you got a third wheel around with me around the city. It's like, what? You're really talking about high school and we're in fucking college now. At a 5-6 year difference. Like when that first happened, that I was a freshman. By the time me and her ended up back around each other, we were like sophomore college area. So yeah, that's 5 years. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, you know, we've at that point they had been dating for like months. And I'm like, oh, then the only reason why you're telling me is because I have a boyfriend now. You were never going to tell me that. You were never going to tell me you're dating my ex. Which I didn't call him that because we really only got a chance to date for like a week before I broke up with him. But I never call him my ex. But it's still like, and I never told her that me and him had intercourse. So it's just like, I'm like in this weird ass, like, does she know that? And I mean, you've seen me like fucking make out with the man, and maybe you don't think that's weird to be dating somebody after I've made out with them. But it's like, I don't know. Like, so I didn't tell her that we had intercourse because it just felt, I don't know. I guess to me it felt like I didn't owe her that. I didn't owe her that explanation because I didn't take your man. You know what I mean? Or your man didn't cheat on you with me, so it's not really your fucking business. But I at that time I was just in shock. Like, you would actually date somebody after I dated them. But I'm the man stiller. I'm the hoe of the family. I'm the one who, watch your man, watch your man. I got to watch you now, bitch. And I guess it's because, like, oh, you dress a certain type of way, so you have to be the man stiller. You think bitches at church don't be stealing people's man? You think chicks at church ain't stealing people's man? You think people aren't fucking reading their Bibles? Let me stop. I'm not gonna go too far. I ain't religious, but it's like, what? But I'm not gonna do too much because I got a man. Okay, he's fine as fuck. But at the time, like, I got a man, he's fine as fuck, so I'm not gonna do too much. But in my head, I'm definitely like, my head was like turning, like my stomach hurted because it's like, what are you talking about right now? Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, how do I take this seriously? They still together. So, I'm going to do a part 2 of this because it definitely gets weirder. But at the time, we stopped hanging out because he didn't want her to hang out with his ex. Me. He doesn't like hanging around his exes. So why the fuck would you date my motherfucking... Why would you date somebody so close to me if you don't want to be around your exes? Like, what about holidays? Like, what about... You know what I mean? Like, important things happening in our lives. You just never gonna come around? Not him making it seem like I'm the fucking bad guy. Like, I'm the bad guy to everybody. Okay, cool. But wait till part 2, though, because it definitely gets weirder. It definitely gets weirder. And mind you, because you think I didn't peep this shit, right? I think I said this like once. So, fast forward. Me and, obviously, my ex had a baby. And the month after I gave birth to my son was Christmas. And everybody is at a certain house. And we all, like, you know, doing Christmas shit. And when I let everybody know, okay, my boo's pulling up. My man's pulling up. Her man was not there. My ex. He wasn't there because he didn't celebrate holidays. How convenient. But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, some things happen for a reason because I fucking love Christmas. And not necessarily, you know, Santa Claus for obvious reasons. But I just mean I like the festivities. I like the decorations. I'm spiritualist, so I'm not about to sit here and pretend like I don't know why one should not be celebrating Christmas. But for the festivities wise, like the colors, the lights, the decorating, the food, and all this stuff. So yeah, it would have never worked between me and him because I wouldn't want to be with somebody which ended up being the man I had, ruined my motherfucking Christmas. But that's why we don't work. I'm not saying we didn't work because he ruined Christmas. I just mean, it's just something weird to me about that. Not that people don't celebrate holidays, but if you are someone who does and you date somebody who doesn't, there's no compromise there. Anyways, so I'm letting everybody know that my boo's about to pop up. And it's funny because I still have a picture. No, not a picture. A video of this. Well, actually, I think I have pictures too. So she was wearing a ponytail. We were wearing ponytails before I said, like, my boo's coming. So when he let me know, I let everybody know, okay, he's on his way. I go into the bathroom and I undo my ponytail, right? Because I wanted my hair to be out. I'm like, it's my man. So I'm trying to look good for my man, right? I'm in the bathroom. I'm doing my hair. There's somebody else with us and her. And she starts to take her ponytail out and starts to do her hair. So me and the other chick that was with us, we're looking at her like, I'm literally in the bathroom saying like, oh, I want to look good for my man. And so she's like, yeah. Huh? I'm the man stealer? Why are you doing your hair when I'm telling you my man is coming? And like I said, I'm in the bathroom like one of these. So you could see her in the fucking video doing her hair. Is your man coming? Does not celebrate Christmas coming? Just crouton? Is crouton in the motherfucking salad? Coming? Why are you doing your hair? See, that is why you have to know your worth. It is so fucking important for you to know your worth. Because people have been bashing me my entire life, making me feel like I'm something that I'm not. Whole time, the call is coming from inside the motherfucking house, nigga. Now, granted, they might not be going out here with booty shorts and thongs, stealing everybody's man. But the devil comes in different ways. He don't always come in the obvious booty skirt, big booty Judy ass way. Sometimes it's in the way of your fucking best friend. Sometimes it's in the way of your sister. Sometimes it's in the way of your motherfucking mother, your father, your cousin, your brother, your goddamn, your baby daddy. Sometimes it's in the way of them niggas. Because you don't think it's going to be like that. You think it's going to be the sneaky ass friend or the obvious frenemy, enemy. No, sometimes it's your fucking family. Why are you doing your hair for my man? That shit had me. And the craziest thing is when I look back at the pictures, I never really did my hair. I never finished because I was confused. I was so confused as to why am I in the mirror, sharing a mirror with another woman who called me a fucking man stealer, basically. Why are you doing your hair at the same time I'm doing my hair for my man? And it's so obvious. It's not like she's like, oh, let me fix my hair too. No, I'm in the bathroom like, damn, oh yeah, my man coming. And she like taking out her ponytail like, oh my God, yeah. Let me do my hair. Watch the people who's around y'all. Watch those opinionated ass people around y'all. Watch them. Why are they not opinionated, but opinionated about you, opinionated about your clothes, opinionated about who you date, opinionated about something that involves you, that is your signature. My style is my signature. Not to say other people don't got styles, but my creativity and my style is my signature. I don't give a fuck about what everybody else is doing. Me, I express myself through the way that I dress. And people just, the way that I talk. Now nobody want me to talk. Now I talk too much. All of a sudden out of nowhere, I gossip too much. Now all of a sudden I want to shut up. For what? For what, ho? Because most of the time I'm talking about something. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about things that I've done to me. I'm talking about things I've done to other people. I'm talking about me. I'm not saying XYZ and XYZ did XYZ. And if I am saying something like that, it has to be something that's really bad happening pertaining to that situation that I feel like, okay, this is alarming. And I don't want to be holding on to this as if this is some top secret shit when what should actually be done is something. Not nothing. Not secret, we family. Fuck that shit. This is weird. But outside of that, I'm talking about things that have to do with me. Don't tell me I can't tell my motherfucking story. What you finna do about it? But I did shut up for a long time. And I did stop dressing the way that I dressed for a long time. And I did stop expressing my own sexuality for a long time. I did stop trying to, find different creative avenues like dancing and singing because I'm not taking it seriously. Watch these fucking people. Snakes. Cause as I say, I got a part 2 for y'all. And it's like, what? At what point are you not? At what point is no one seeing what I'm seeing? Y'all don't see what I see because y'all don't want to see what I see. Y'all want me to be the bad guy so bad that y'all are willing to let people do fucked up shit to people, all in the name of Mikael is the bad guy. Well, I'll be the bad guy. What Nicki Minaj say? I'll be the bad guy. Huh? I'm okay with that. Anyways, I'll see you guys in part 2. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you guys have a great month. I hope you guys have a great year. Have the great rest of your year. If you don't see the rest of my videos, I hope when you turn over your pillows cold. I hope when you brush your teeth it's minty, but not too minty to where it burns. I hope your feet, I was about to say, I hope your feet is always hot. Don't do that. I hope your food is always hot, not too hot. Perfect. You feel what I'm saying? I hope your bath water is nice and warm. I hope your lips is always juicy. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.